recall cause number 0298 on Kimberly Bertran. Good morning. Are you Kimberly Bertran? And Ms. Bertran was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the state jail felony offense of driving while intoxicated with a child passenger. And I've received a copy of the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have. Yes, sir.
Any additions or corrections?
None that I discovered.
Obviously, everybody understands probably what's happening today, right?
Yeah, she gets real emotional.
Well, okay.
And she was, right, so I told her to calm down.
That's probably a good thing because you weren't crying when you showed up to your PSI under the influence of THC, methamphetamine, amphetamine, benzodiazepines, and methadone. So we're going to make sure and give you some tools necessary to hopefully make it where you can be successful and stop being a danger to everybody else around you while you're driving, right? So I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty previously, freely, and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, I'm going to follow your agreement. I'm going to find you guilty of driving while intoxicated with a child passenger, sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison, but I'm going to probate that. You'll be on probation for 4 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine, and you're ordered to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. A condition of that probation is that you're going to enter and successfully complete the SafeP program. You will go into custody today. You'll be transferred to SafeP. You will hopefully get all of the tools necessary in order to be successful on probation. You've had a probation opportunity before that was revoked. You're lucky you're even getting this opportunity, but I'm not going to consider not sending her anywhere today. Okay. I mean, she tested positive at the PSI.
No, I didn't know about it this morning. I was just going to suggest if she could, do that. It was indicated to her that she would do colors, which is where they phone in.
Well, and
I was wondering if she could do that until after Christmas.
No, because the problem with that, and I know it's it's no fun to not be around for Christmas, but it's also going to be no fun to not be around for 2 years if you violate your probation. And it's really not going to be fun if you continue using and continue driving and kill yourself for someone else, because then it's going to be a whole different story that we're in here talking about. And that's the path that you're on. So this is not necessarily meant to be a punishment. This is meant to help you be successful while you're on probation. Obviously, you can't do it on your own. So we're going to give you the tools. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you waived any right to appeal. I've also handed you a written certification regarding your ineligibility.
I'm sorry. You want me to give this?
Yeah. I've also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long it lasts, you can talk to Mr. Doyle. Good luck to you. I hope you take advantage of this opportunity. You can go with the bailiff. Numbers 23 DCCR 1277, 1278, and then there's cause numbers 36614 and 36920. And it looks like Mr. Mayfield was previously in court and entered pleas of guilty open to the court on the new cases, and we were waiting on the MTRPs. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. He pled true.
It was the opposite.
To the counsel and MTRP.
Yes. Okay. That makes more sense. All right. So there's the two MTRPs, motion to revoke community supervisions and cause numbers 36614 and 36920. Mr. Mayfield is on probation for the offense in each of those cases, state jail felony offenses of invasive visual recording. Those were from January 31st of 2022. Entered pleas of true to counts 1 and 2 in each of those cases, which were admitting to and pleading true to committing new offenses of invasive visual recording. one from June 8th of 2023 and one from June 6th of 2023, which are those two new cases. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I've received a pre-sentence report as well as an updated memorandum that was sent that included Detective Raymer's position. Is there any, have you both been able to see and review both of those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any additions or corrections to those?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and so Ms. Holmes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Obviously, in viewing this case with Mr. Mayfield, and I visited with him on several occasions, and I'm familiar with Mr. Mayfield as we went to school together. And obviously, in these invasive visual recording cases, there is a impulse control that Mr. Mayfield has, dealing with obviously a psychological issue that I have worked, and he has tried to work with addressing. He has been to counseling with Dr. Marcus Steers in regards to these cases. While on probation, he appeared to be a model probationer. He was doing everything that he was asked to do, and for a year and a half, he was on the right track. It wasn't until Mr. Mayfield, he had no cell phone for a long time, and at some point he did obtain a cell phone again, and in June of this year, he made the terrible decisions to record these women and invade their privacy once again. As you can see in the PSI, Your Honor, in looking at the recommendations and looking at his employment, Mr. Mayfield was gainfully employed with Helena Laboratories. He appeared with his co-workers to be a hard-working person. And the recommendations, we see that it is said that he did take responsibility for his offenses, but they didn't seem to think that he understands the severity of his behaviors. And Your Honor, that goes back to the psychological effects or the thinking errors of Mr. Mayfield that we are still hopeful that can be addressed. As you can see, they stated if he is continued probation and given another opportunity to be on zero tolerance, have a curfew, have the probation identification bracelet at all times. Obviously, we were considering house arrest, where he cannot go anywhere, where he will be watched at all times, and the only way that he would need to leave the home is for strictly probation purposes or possibly employment. Your Honor, Mr. Mayfield has a condition that it will take a lot of counseling and efforts to help him to understand that the actions that he has committed and the way that he goes about doing things with his cell phone would need to be addressed. And I hope that the court sees, obviously, in looking at his criminal history, it is not pretty, because it is the same offense that is committed over and over again. And I do know that that is a huge red flag for the court. I understand that. We are just asking that if there is any type of way that Mr. Mayfield can somehow get the help that he needs so that he eventually, when he is back into society, that he will not continue to repeat these same offenses. And Your Honor, we're just asking if there's any other way or any other alternatives that can help Mr. Mayfield besides sending him to prison. We're asking that the court consider that.
Mr. Smith?
Judge, I would completely disagree with that. I feel like he gave the illusion that he was complying with every term and condition of probation. He had every opportunity, and he got probation after having already committed this particular thing back in 2016. I think the only thing that can be done is that he needs to be revoked. He needs to be sentenced to 2 years in the state jail in each one of these cases. He is not able to be rehabilitated. He's going to continue to do this. Cell phones are too easy to get. Had we not caught him in the act of committing 2 more of these particular crimes, we wouldn't have known that he was doing these things. We don't know that there aren't other victims that he has perpetrated, and he doesn't seem to have any remorse towards that. He just doesn't like being caught. I feel like for the safety of the community, he needs to be revoked, not be given a further chance at probation, and we're asking that he be given 2 years in each case.
So I mean, Mr. Mayfield, the fact that you were given probation the first time, frankly, I'm almost a little embarrassed of, because I gave you that chance and the state did, and we all agreed to it after you had already been on probation for the same thing and been revoked. So it's one of those things where we hear the arguments, and this is why probation should be good, and Ms. Holmes made excellent arguments, but I feel like we probably heard those same arguments when you got put on these probations. I'm going to find in each of your cases that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 and 2 freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find in cause number 36614 sufficient evidence to revoke your probation. At this time, revoke your probation, sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Cause number 36920, I'm also going to find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation. And at this time, revoke your probation, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail prison. You will also receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Honestly, I wish that I could stack these. I wish that they weren't state jail felonies. I wish that we could keep you somewhere for a much longer time than just 2 years to protect all of the women that you have victimized. But this is what it is, and this is what legislators set it at. You guys can talk about those other cases. You obviously know my feelings on that, so we can either get them set for a jury trial or there could be some kind of agreement. But I'll reset it for that. I am going to hand you, Mr. Mayfield, the trial court certification. Shows that these were not agreements, and so you do have some rights to appeal. You can talk to Ms. Holmes about that. You received, when you first were placed on probation, the admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm, correct? So obviously you know that that is something that is still important rules to follow. I need you to fill out that bottom and get him to sign it and then we'll give him the back copy of that, and then we'll reset the 2 new cases for an announcement and see where we get on those. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. Once y'all do that, yeah.